Elsewhere, Huawei CEO Ren Zhengfei says he wants to license the company's 5G technology to one single competitor, but ideally in the United States. Ren told CNBC's Christine Tan the U.S. risked falling behind its European and Asian competitors on 5G. Let's cross live to Arjun, who was outside the Huawei campus in Shenzhen. And Arjun, I've got to say, I was a little bit surprised there to pick up on those comments that they want to license their 5G technology. Did I hear correctly, to a U.S. company?
That's right. Those comments were made just a few moments ago in a panel discussion just to the right, in a room to the right of the camera here. But I just want to set the context for that, about why he made those contexts, and a little bit about Huawei. It's the world's largest telecoms equipment maker, and 5G is now the next generation of mobile networks. Huawei makes not just the hardware, but increasingly the software too, which goes into these networks as well, the chips that also are key to running these networks. And so there's a whole host of supply chain that Huawei is involved in when it comes to 5G. Now, he says that, look, Japan, Korea, and even Europe, they have their own competitors. If you think of the likes of Samsung over in Korea or Nokia and Ericsson in Europe, but in the US, there is no competitor to Huawei. And his justification was, if Huawei is able to license its 5G technology to a US company, the US could potentially create a challenger and a rival to Huawei and help it catch up when it comes to 5G. Of course, these comments come in the context of this broader US-China trade war. But let's just listen in to what Ren Zhengfei had to say about this and his justification for making those comments.
We only would like to offer exclusive license to one company from the West, is exclusive license, so that it's able to achieve economy of scale to support the business. With this one company, I think that it should be a US company, because in Europe, they've got that 5G, and in Japan and Korea, they've got their relevant technologies. When they are optimizing the technologies, they will make adjustments accordingly. But the US is not having it. So I think that we should give exclusive license with one US company. After getting the license, they should be able to compete with us around the world.
I do want to make clear, this is not just benevolence, of course, from Huawei. This is potentially a business opportunity. Huawei is the biggest holder in the world of what are known as standard essential patents. And these are patents that are required in 5G networks. Essentially, companies, carriers, even in the US, will have to license some of these from Huawei anyway. But what Huawei is saying in this instance, what Mr. Ren Zhengfei is saying, is that he could license more than just those patents, even to other pieces of the technology. Of course, as I mentioned, the context here is the broader US-China trade war. Huawei continuing to feel pressure from the US, which has accused it of potentially creating backdoors in its equipment to carry out espionage on behalf of the Chinese governments. These allegations, of course, Huawei has strenuously and repeatedly denied. It's also on a US blacklist, which restricts its access to American technology, and that's already had an effect. It's released a brand new smartphone, which is coming to the market tomorrow, called the Mate 30. That actually won't have any licensed Google services or apps on it, and that could potentially affect its sales in the US market. However, what you have seen from Huawei is they have remained fairly resilient. They grew in the first half of the year in terms of revenue. They've also signed over 50 commercial 5G contracts, which is higher than either of their closest competitors, Nokia or Ericsson. So it's not all doom and gloom for the Chinese tech giant, but of course, some challenges do still remain. Guys, back to you.